We're out here changing out a heat pump system. Here's our old heat pump. Here's the heat pump we're going back with. It's a Goodman side discharge 16 SEER. So the reason we're changing the system out today is the indoor evaporator coil had a blowout. The coil replacement was pretty expensive. I think about $4,000 due to the price of the coil. And that's what we're seeing pretty regularly now in our industry. So it was more cost effective for the customer to just replace the equipment. This is Kai. He's working on the air handler, getting the heater kit installed and wired up.
I'm Jacob. I'm one of the installers, lead installers here at Douglas. About to get the pad level right now.
So yeah, right now we're just getting everything situated for the outdoor unit. He's getting when he gets the indoor unit ready, we'll get in the attic and start disassembling the old air handler to get the new one up, get the ductwork ready. So yeah.
Well, right now, just getting the ground leveled out, trying to level out this pad nice and even for our outdoor unit right now. A little bit of a mess, but it's going to look good in the end. So, and right now I'm just measuring it off the wall to make sure we're even on both sides. All right, so right now we're doing the heat strips inside this air handler, and got some new stuff going on, so we're trying to figure out where to put this high voltage at. And once we do, we can connect these wires in, put this transformer back, and just right now just getting it set up.
What I'm doing here today, we're taking out the old air handler from the disassembly. It's old heat pump, 2.5 ton Lennox. Finna take it out to go in with a new Goodman R32 unit. And right now, finna start with the basics. It's taking the return loose and the supply loose. Finna get these screws out of this bad boy just like that. Cut that tape and get that mastic off real good. I got another screw right there. And also, while I'm doing this, we in the attic. So I'll be very, very sure to watch my step. See where I step at.
So the customer has the unit's been down since October, so the homeowners waited till it got hot to change the unit out. So now we're up here sweating. Got him. They probably planned it that way. So we've got our high voltage loose. We're just gonna take it over here and get it out of the way. Refrigerant lines are already disconnected outside, so we're good to cut the lines in here. All right, so we got one last screw to get out of the ductwork, and we'll be ready to get the air handler out of the attic. All right, so we've got the air handler out, the old air handler. We're gonna get it out of the attic and get prepped to get the new one in. So we're having to take this air handler down through this pull down staircase.
All right, so we finally got the outdoor sitting on the pad. And what I'm about to do is, usually once I get the outdoor set, is I work on the copper and try to get the copper tied into this unit. And right now we got 3/4 copper and 3/8 copper. But right now I'm gonna make a piece to go from this end to the other. And here in a minute you'll start to see a flame, and that's me soldering in the copper. So that's what we're gonna get busy with right now.
All right, as you can see here, we had to disassemble the air handler. We had to take the coil, the blower, all the electrical components out of it. And the reason being is the air handler is 21 inches wide and our attic access pull down is only 20. So it's either disassemble the air handler and take it up piece by piece, take it to the attic and put it back together, or take down the staircase. So we're not into construction, so we took the air handler apart. So we're gonna take it up piece by piece, assemble it in the attic so we can get it installed. This is a common issue we're running into now. So to get the efficiency out of the equipment, a lot of manufacturers are having to make the coils and the components bigger to get that efficiency rating. A lot of your construction was done around the size of the equipment. This house is probably 20 years old. And 20 years ago, the cabinets, the coils and all were smaller because the efficiency ratings were lower. So anyway, this is just one of the things we're going to run into now. It will be a constant issue on installs, but it is what it is. The job's got to get done. All right, we got the cabinet in the attic. We're going to start getting all the pieces up here and start putting it back together. Unfortunately, the attic is now about 110 degrees, so there's going to be a lot of sweating and cursing. Probably some things are going to have to get cut out of the video. All right, we finally got the cabinet and the components in the attic. We're gonna start piecing it together. Unfortunately, even though we took it apart 3 minutes ago, piecing it back together. Yeah, so see, these are some of the things you probably don't get to see on the HVAC on the installs and the backside of some of the things we do. The day-to-day stuff that we find hard or monotonous. I mean, this is kind of a pain, but something a little different. Even though I know I said that we would probably be doing more of this in the future, just with the equipment getting bigger. But I mean, this is a typical day for us outside of this issue we're having with the air handler being too big.
We got the air handler up in the attic. As you know, units are getting bigger, but the access to an attic is still the same size. So sometimes we have to take the unit apart, kind of fold it up a little bit, get it up in the attic, put it back together. So that's exactly what we just did. So right now I'm going to start the thermostat process. So old Honeywell battery in here, thermostat, traditional heat pump system. So we got our wires in here. So we got a common, we got a red, we got an O, which is orange for our reversing valve. We got a green wire here. That's going to be for our fan. We got a yellow wire here. That's for our compressor. And then we have a white wire here, which is for our emergency or auxiliary heat. So what I'm going to do is just take a quick pic of what was hooked up. Our new thermostat doesn't hook up like this at all, but this lets me know just in case they substituted a wire that may have been broken or has an issue with it. I know what wires actually have continuity and will work. So first thing we're going to do is pop these out of here. Pretty simple process. Go ahead and pop them out one by one. So blue was my common wire, red was my power wire. Next thing we have in line here is I got an orange wire, that's my reversing valve. Got a green wire here, that's my fan. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the white wire out, that's my auxiliary heat or emergency heat, depending on tomato, how you want to say it. And then I got Y here, which is my yellow wire, which is my compressor. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and take these sheetrock screws out, and we're gonna pop this thing off the wall. This is fairly typical. If you're ever changing a thermostat, you're gonna see a couple wires that aren't used. So this is 18/8 wire. In this situation, they didn't need all the wires. So if you're replacing your thermostat yourself, like with an Ecobee or a Nest, and you see these extra wires here, don't cut them off. Just twirl them around there, push them back in the hole like they did. So that way, in the future, if we ever need extra wires, we've got it. So just a nice little tip there if you're doing it yourself. All right, so today we're putting in a Goodman GTST connected thermostat. This is a proprietary thermostat, meaning it has to be used with their equipment, so you can't use it with just any equipment. And the reason why that's proprietary and makes it so good is because it's a communicating thermostat. So it's constantly sending information through these wires up to the indoor unit, out to the outdoor unit, and so it's measuring indoor temperature, coil temperatures, outdoor temperature, relative humidity, all these wonderful things, so it can make decisions on the algorithm. So the system that we're installing today is a fully variable speed Goodman side discharge unit. And what does that mean, variable speed? Good question. So variable speed means instead of being 100% on or 100% off, like the light switch in this room, it means that we have like a dimmer switch. So instead of being 100% on, we can slowly get it to come up to speed or slowly bring it down to speed. So think about it like having cruise control on the interstate, right? You set it at 70 miles per hour, and depending on the terrain, your car will automatically give it more gas or less gas to maintain that 70. So same thing here. If we set this thing at 70 degrees, the compressor will ramp up or ramp down depending on what the outdoor temperature is, the indoor temperature is, and it's a learning thermostat. So as the homeowner uses this thermostat right here, they're going to be able to learn, or the equipment will learn the patterns of the homeowner. It will also learn the outdoor ambient conditions as well. So it'll make smarter decisions as it goes along. And the whole thing is, if we set this thing at 70, it's gonna say, okay, I know at 88 degrees outside at 67% relative humidity, this homeowner likes it at 70 degrees, 50% relative humidity. That variable speed compressor will say, hey, I need to run at 33.4%. So that's how it saves money. It's not always 100% on or 100% off. And so the other thing about the system that homeowners have to get used to is that it runs more often. And a lot of people associate if it runs more often, that means it's going to cost me more in power. That's not the case. It's kind of like going back to the automobile, right? If you're on cruise control and you're on a good level ground and you're going 70 miles an hour, that's when you're going to get your best fuel efficiency, right? For miles traveled, that's your best fuel efficiency. Well, when you're in town and you're stop and go traffic, start and stop, that's when you get your worst fuel efficiency. So think about that from an HVAC standpoint. If we start and stop, that's not very efficient. But if we kind of have this level constantly almost running, you don't use as much energy. And that's how you stay more comfortable, and that's how you lower your utility bills.
All right, well, we've got the air handler put back together, installed, horizontal left position. We're about to get the refrigerant lines brazed in, tied in, the electrical. But first, I gotta get my yoga right. Up top.
We are done doing our install today on the Goodman 16 series side discharge unit. Small confession to make, this is actually Ronald's house, our marketing director, Douglas. So his unit went down yesterday. We got him a side discharge here. So just heads up, like you can't even hear the unit, like your refrigerator's louder than this. So I didn't really help a whole lot with the install today. It was these guys right here. So huge install team here, right here. And John, that's right. So long story short, install successful. Very simple system to install, and I think we're all pretty pleased.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Good job.
See you next time.
All right, I'm going, guys.
The Doug way, baby.
Yeah! He said the Doug way. Doug way. That's pretty funny.